Hello there, and welcome to Daniel's Infinite Playlist, and welcome to the classic album review section where we basically take a look back on albums that have been released in the past. And today we're going to review the amazing and excellent second album, I think, from Japanese cult singer Mishio Ogawa, which is called 4 to 3. And for those of you who don't know who Mishio Ogawa is, well, Mishio Ogawa is a singer and songwriter and also instrumentalist from Japan. She used to be in various, pop punk fusion bands such as Chakra. And she's done like various musical projects, and then she's done music under her own name as Mishio Ogawa. And she's been made well known, like in the western part of the world because of, a lot of musicians naming her as a big, influence, especially on their vocal style, especially, and that's where I got my first introduction to her music. It was namely by listening to Caroline Polachek's album as Ramona Lisa, and she mentioned Mishio Ogawa as being one of the main inspirations behind her album. But first, how is it to listen to this album? Well, it's a bit like this. Alright, I'm going to show you the the CD unboxing, and here it is. There's the album cover. I really love it. It's very, mystical and beautiful, and also it's just so well thought out, everything. And there you see the artist herself. Let's see, here's the booklet, and it includes like these very cute naive child drawings, accompanying almost every song on the album. And here are the lyrics. They're exclusively on Japanese, but it's all just very, charming. And then you see here are the credits. And here's also a message from Mishio Ogawa herself, I think. I tried to Google Translate this, but I didn't get anything coherent from this, which is sad because I'd really like to know what it says. Anyways, here's the behind, and also the behind of the album itself. Also, this version didn't include an obi strip. It's very... it was a used version, so they didn't have it, I think. Anyways, how is this album musically? Well, musically, this album is very much a sort of avant pop album. It mixes all of these new wave and very experimental, influences, such as using warped or very, clean synths, mixed with some tribal and very minimalistic drumming. And on top of that is Mishio Ogawa's very expressive singing voice, which is truly beautiful to listen to. And it shouldn't work, but it really does. She crafts like all of these very uncanny pop melodies that are just so dreamy, and also very, very happy and melancholic at the same time. You feel like you can take a stroll through the city while listening to these tracks, or late at night perhaps. And it goes to show that she's a very talented artist, and she's been able to do music of different genres. But here the avant pop and the very arty influences are very apparent, and that's what they said also about her music, is that she really loves mixing all of these very uncanny aspects of music and making them sort of very joyously accessible, almost like pop music. So yeah, how is this album lyrically? Well, from what I can gather, and thanks to Google Translate, which is not a really good reference, but anyways, I really tried to find, you know, like to read some of the lyrics, and it appears that the lyrics include very beautiful, dreamy scenarios of hope, of being lost in the city, of being how do you say stuck on this road that we call life. And it sort of feels like very hopeful as well. It's just a very hopeful, albeit a bit nonsensical at times, but the imagery is just so beautiful. There's there's a line on one of the songs about the heart that cries for hunger or something like that. It's just very beautiful, and I hope that Google Translate didn't lie to me this time. So yeah, I wish that I had a little bit more info regarding this album, but info on this artist is scarce, especially from this album. And this album is also her most known album ever. And it's such a shame, but maybe that's what she intends to do, is that she wants to keep, you know, sort of like this hidden cult status, because truly listening to this album almost feels like a treasure, like a well-hidden treasure. So, what do I give this album? Well, I give it a 9 out of 10. It is a perfect example of how art pop should be like. It is very playful, childish, naive, yet it can also have its very dark and melancholic and sad moments, but it's all grounded in a sort of dreamy and naive perspective that is just so refreshing to listen to. I mean, this album was released in 1991, yet it feels like it's trapped in a vacuum. Like it sounds very fresh, still sounds very modern, it sounds like it's detached from this place. And despite it having some, you know, like obviously 80s reference, such as new wave and other type of synthy stuff, it just sounds very much like it's stuck in its own time, and that's why it's just so beautiful to listen to. And I really recommend you guys to listen to, especially if you're very interested in, you know, like Japanese music scene and cult singers that are just not, you know, like the famous J-pop singers that you always hear about. So yeah, and as I said, I wish I had a little bit more information regarding the lyrics and, you know, like the background of this album, but information is super scarce. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But anyways, I hope that with this review I could get a little bit more of information. If you guys have, you know, like down on the comments, I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this review. As always, I'm going to put artist links down below. Mishio Ogawa is unfortunately not available everywhere, especially on streaming services. Like, you could find the album 423 on Spotify, but it doesn't play. I think there's some sort of regional block on it. You can't, there's a link for the whole, I mean, you can listen to the whole album on YouTube actually, in a non-stop sort of mix, and I guess that's the best reason to listen to her, and that would be on YouTube, unfortunately, but hey, that's quite alright. And also you can buy her CDs on Discogs. This CD is the cheapest that you can find on there. Her other albums that she released later on are really expensive. They can cost up to, I don't know, like $60 or something like that. It's really, really crazy. But then again, I can understand it, since the music is just very special and very good. Alright, thank you so much for watching this review of me, and please give a like and subscribe. And as always, I'm going to review new albums every Wednesday and classic albums every Saturday. So yeah, if you'd like to tag along for this musical ride, then I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, that's it for me. Enjoy music, enjoy life, people. Vi ses. Hej då!